true. And they dumped a lot of their
Yeah, they
money
just
on
dump all their $1 million tourney on beta, bro.
on beta.
I won like I still need money. Like I won over 5K and they just paid me 4K.
Have you not gotten paid? Welcome to episode 3 of the Pew Pew podcast. Today I have another special guest. I feel like I say this every podcast now. No, I really do. Competitive player, streamer, game dev, digital work, a bunch of stuff that we will all go over throughout the podcast. Frapper, how you doing, my man?
Doing good. Got the coffee ready to go.
Let's go. Call it for coffee. Is that a vape as well?
It's out of battery though.
It's out of battery. Fuck it. The vape's gone, but hey, coffee. That's all we need.
Coffee, yup.
I want to start off real quick. You know, you've been gaming for a whole ass long time, and as I was doing my little research, as I always do, there's like pictures of you at like 3 or 4 years old or something.
Oh yeah.
of you with a keyboard. Is this true gaming? Were you gaming at 3?
I don't even remember. I think it was like, those. It was like smart games where you have to like do quiz and then you would advance. It would be like on
like the
Vista, like like whole ass Vista games or whatever. And then I think I stopped and I went more like sport kind of guy until like I met some friends in like high school that played Minecraft. So I started hanging around with these guys and playing Minecraft at school at like lunchtime and shit, or like in classes.
Were you into the competitive part of Minecraft, or
I was like Hunger Games.
Oh,
like BR, PvP, stuff like that. Yeah, like Bed Wars. And then I switched to CS:GO. So that's the big thing.
When did you make that switch, and why? Like why'd you go from
at
the
16? Because I'm like Minecraft. Like I started getting better at video games, I guess, or like with the keyboard, and I'm a competitive guy, like in sports and overall. So I wanted like a game that is actually competitive, which Minecraft is not, So I had some friends that played CS or something, so I started playing that. That's what really I got like really the control like of aiming, of like mouse and key shit. Because you can start, but I knew I didn't felt like at my best, So I started like practicing that game because I knew it was like a hard game aim wise, So I just grinded that. And then that's where I got my aim, I think. And then it was an old game also, because like most pros were already playing, so I knew I couldn't really go pro in that game. So Apex like just came out, and then that's where I like, all right, I'm gonna try that out. So I tried that out, and I liked it. So I grinded that game, tried to make connection early, and that's where I started going big.
And you instantly started with like some leaderboard grinds and stuff. Like, so I seen, I was watching Overwatch, Apex, I think even possibly Val, I think that I've seen as well.
Oh yeah, I tried
you were all over leaderboards, and you were like top leaderboards. You've been doing this also. I guess.
Yeah, I forgot. I played Siege even before Apex.
Yeah. Siege was the third game
between CS:GO and Apex, between the two. I went there at Siege. I think it's just because I really liked the game. Actually, that was one of the games I enjoyed a lot playing. But I was playing on the old ass fucking laptop at that time, and it was like 60 Hz. And I didn't even know there was like a 144 Hz option. Kind of shocked.
You were popping heads on
I was
low
playing
specs.
Like almost semi-pro Siege on 60 Hz.
Holy smokes, bro! Holy smokes! And I want to get to the part where you kind of I feel like this is when you started going pro more. When you started getting into Apex, and you managed to get into E8, right? Which is a really good org in Apex. How did you get there? Like, how did you get the connections to get to E8? How did they hit you up?
That was pretty late. I was actually on Solify before that with like Panders, that is now on free.
Okay, yeah.
So I was with him. So that's where I was like, I peaked actually, like where I was the most known, I would say. So I made like, I couldn't find another team, so I met Mercy, and that's why I trying it out with Mercy, and it was not Golden, it was Mercy and Presley, yeah. So we played with him, and that's where I met them, and then actually Mercy's girlfriend is the ZIGY manager now. So
Okay.
that's why. Like I was good friends with Mercy, so I stopped playing. That's where I went to Super People more, and where I got really good, but the game died. But because I still had like that friendly connection with Mercy, but I wasn't really playing Apex. They just asked me to sub, and yeah, they just paid me everything, flew me out there, and managers were dope as fuck. It was really nice, yeah.
I wanted to get to that. You got flown out, right? This is something that a very few amount of people can experience.
Yeah, my parents
How
like,
does that feel?
They're not
Like
paying.
how does that feel? Because you didn't pay for any of that, right? Everything was paid.
Nah, nothing.
So
yeah. All I paid was like $10, I think, for like a chicken like dinner. They paid everything.
That must have been the most worth $10 that you've ever
for real.
spent.
I'm like, I came back all of this for $10. I was like, what the fuck?
And
fucking first class and everything.
How much time was that? Like, how much time was the trip?
It was like Thursday to Sunday to like Monday actually. So like 4 days. Yeah.
And
so like
obviously that was like on the big stage. You were subbing, right, as you said. So you weren't you didn't play, but on the big
I played the warm-up games and matched like, but not like anything that counted. No, I was gonna play finals because Presley got COVID, but they didn't make finals. So
that's
so less stress for me, but that's still stuff. Yeah.
How did that feel, like being in this huge stage? Because Apex comp scene is big, and like there is people there. Like how was the energy there?
Like during the games, or like
overall, during the games and overall, honestly, just the whole feel. I want to say of like being in the big stages.
It was a bit weird of seeing like all those players you played like fucking 3-4 years versus, and now you see them in real life. You're like, what the fuck? Like that Sheen-esque over there. And then we all be like in the same hotel and buses, so you'd see like every player's vibe, and some were like more party, some were more like focus, you know. But
do you kind of
stage? What
I was about to say, do you kind of make that distinction? Like when you get there, you can kind of start feeling out.
You can tell like all those older fucking brain deads, fucking Rambo with his beards, and Dupe. You saw those videos probably.
Yep.
Yeah, those guys.
No, that
and there was like for halls, all those guys were like waking up at 7 to go work out and like super sweaty. Like, what the hell?
I feel like that's like a big thing in the gaming community, but I feel like you probably feel it out the most when you go to LANs and big events. Is like it's so diversified, right? So you have so many people doing so many different things, right? You have people that are gym addicts just going to the gym in the morning, but you have people that are just on their grind every day. They're gonna wake up and they're probably they were playing like in the room or something.
Think about it's not like every sport where like all the athletes in NHL would do all the same thing. Like I feel like esports really like you do your own thing that you think would work for you. It's more like personal, because like everything, I guess you can have like hockey sticks that are like different sticks, but at the end of the day it's still a stick. But we have like fucking mouses that are like wireless, controllers, and like you have it's so diverse.
Were you like testing each other's setups? Is that a thing? Like were you guys going like, you play like this?
I brought my own stuff, but the only thing we didn't have like customized were the headset and the screen and the PC actually, but of course. But like the headset was still pretty bad. Like you couldn't hear anything. And like it was a bunch of issues with people trying to connect to like the PCs before the games. That was like a big thing. And it was freezing in the back because it was like the gaming area, and then because it's more than one lobby, there was like another one backstage. And holy shit, you were freezing in the backstage in the first 2 days. They had like no heater, and the light in front of the stage, they said like you would hear the crowd, and like the lights of the set would go in your face, so they can like see sometimes. Like they would randomly play that fucking flash.
Wait, hold on. Like live
told me that
live on stage.
You're live finals, fucking getting the lights in your face. Cause
that is crazy. That is wild. That's not okay. So you just get flashed, and this is not like someone flashing you, because typical sports
flashing. That's not on
purpose,
but like still, some players would get it.
That's in like the like kind of, those issues and everything. Is that like an added stress or something? Do you like, scared that your PC might not work or anything like that, or do you just not think about that?
That's a good question. I mean, you definitely feel not as comfortable as what you were on like at home,
Yeah,
but I felt confident with the PCs because I know like everybody had the same. It's not like you knew someone had a better PC would do better than you. Everybody went on the same ping, same PC, so that was nice. It's just the comfort, I guess, like the headset and
yeah.
the height, the arms like length. I mean, maybe I'm not a roller, but I'm not key. Like if my chair is a bit higher, it's gonna affect like everything.
Yeah, it definitely affects your aim. And
Yeah.
talking about aim, right?
Hmm.
Obviously your countless hours in FPS games helped, but aim training, you have, I know you have some scores, and I remember because way back in Blood Hunt, when I actually met you,
Oh,
we
yeah.
talked about like briefly, we talked about, I think, voltaic scores or something like that. And like, did you get into aim training? Are you still aim training? Is that something you still do, or do you kind of just
No, I
drop it?
actually never really aim train. I only did it like a couple times for like trying to like beat my friends' scores and stuff and
Yeah.
like try it out. But like I feel like I got pretty lucky with I guess genetics or like been always been playing the same mouse or whether I don't know what it is, but I know really just like play the game. I know I get better like towards like if I start playing at like 5 p.m. Like starting at 8 p.m. I know I'm gonna be more warm up than I was on 5 p.m. But I still don't see much of a difference between like I feel like I'm pretty consistent with my aim. I know I could aim train and get even better, but I feel like Apex is not. I know my aim is not something I need to like focus on. I can focus on better stuff right now, like positioning, rotating is more important. I feel like aim training, so I'm focusing more on that right now than
And
yeah than aim training.
while we're on the topic of like competitive and stuff, obviously since you're pretty much deep in there, uh I know aiming is not everything, and like mechanics is not
Hmm.
everything. How much in complex set lobbies, right? How
Yeah.
much is like your game sense worth, compared to, for
Oh,
example, mechanics? Because I
Apex
know,
is huge. It's huge.
eh,
Like I think not even 10% mechanics and like I think it's the biggest in Apex is positioning. You have the best positioning. Doesn't matter if you're stacked, you have purple armor or white armor. If you're gonna have high ground or like you're gonna position yourself to like play off other teams, you're always like gonna win versus a better team, even though you have less like good aim, just because you have a bit of positioning. So I feel like the most things a new player would have to learn is yeah, know the basics of shooting, but mostly like how to rotate to the end zone and like know what to fight, how to fight, and then when to fight.
and like mechanics wise, because I'm thinking, for example, early game, right?
Yeah.
It is probably the only moment where it matters. Or
Yeah, but you can also just like land at an uncontested spot and
oh, shoot.
just play safe. And some teams don't like legit get contested and still decides to like dip and not fight and just loot. So like you can always get away with not fighting in Apex, especially with all those abilities and evacs now. You can just evac away. Like yeah,
talking of
positioning is huge.
talking about that, because being contested is like a thing in every game, right? Every
Yeah.
BR at least, being contested is an annoying thing. How do you deal with that, right? Because you've probably been contested 1,000 times in competitive stuff. How do you deal with it?
Uh, the most important thing is like landing before the other team. So like I land harvester, so I have a technique where I ping the middle of the PY and then at
Yeah.
like 500, 450, you drop and go straight to the middle. And that's I found that was the fastest route, but that's for harvester. So I feel like every PI probably has like a looting route or like landing route that gives you an advantage because at the end of the day, if you get the gun before someone and doesn't have a gun, still he's just dead. So what I do for Harvester is we all three land middle,
Yeah.
and just because we're all three middle, they're gonna end up being split out. So we just like ISO one out, and then once we have the first knock, it's a 3v2. We just reset and just fight the 3v2. It's free.
Then it's an easy
Yeah.
easy cleanup for the rest. To
And
get
you go
out a
like
little.
caustic or like characters that like denies push early or like that are really strong.
Yep.
And that's even easier too.
And to get out a little bit of Apex,
Yep.
I want to go to Super People because
Oh yeah.
Super People is definitely, if Apex isn't your first, then Super People has to be. Because you were insane in Super People.
Oh, I was definitely way better at Super People than Apex.
I mean,
sure.
3 different tournaments win, 1 third place. This is some insane stats. How did that feel, right? Winning a tournament, and the prize pools were pretty big too on Super People.
Mm-hmm.
How did that feel?
I actually felt like I was so happy. It felt amazing because like you would have not only the support of your 4 teammates because it was teams of 4, but I would have like 60 viewers on my stream. Everybody would like be super supportive. And what I like about that game is no matter like what character you were, if you're good at aiming, you could just one clip a guy instantly no matter what. There was no like bubble or like something that could stop you from just killing someone super fast. So I just had like a team of like gunners, and I would IGL them as like Apex, I guess, zones. So like I would know like when to fight or not. So I would just IGL them, and they would just one clip one guy each, and we just rolling people. Especially the character I was playing, it was like a better rate actually. You would just jump in the air, and no one can shoot you because you would jump super high. So I would
shotgun master, right?
Yeah, I would just like either kill a guy instantly, and then after I kill him, I just jump, reposition, get info as an IGL because I'm in the air, and then either land on off angle and shoot another guy and then kill another one. So that's instantly, or I would just land with my shotty on him and just one pump him. So that was like me just getting 2 kills for free. So now it's a 4v2, and that's just me. So yeah, it was so free that game. I don't know, it was really nice.
And Super People, because it obviously had the squads, which were pretty hype mode, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But it also I had solos and
yeah, solo duos and trios.
Yep.
Not at the same time, but
on different weeks. But
yeah,
in terms of solos, right, which is I want to go get at for now, is it's super hard to to not tilt and to not so how do you deal with that? Like what's your strats for your mindset?
I remember before even being like known as one of the best players at Super People, I would have to get known because I knew anybody. No one would switch that from Apex that I knew. So I just grinded solo leaderboard, and I hit #1 in the world. Like I think after 1 month of playing, but how their system would work is you win a game, you would get 50, and then you die off drop, you'd lose 150. So you had to win 3 games for dying off drop 1 time. So you can imagine the number of times I got ratted off rip, and I actually lost my mind because I had to waste 2 hours of my life just to get that back from 2 seconds. I was actually not joking, going insane at the end, but I hit it and then never played solos ever again. Never again after. I always played with a full squad after. It was it, but I got it. But holy shit, it was...
Because I'm assuming, right, you have to even transfer that, because even in team modes, I'm thinking, right, because solo, right, you have to deal with yourself, but team modes you also have to deal with your team not raiding.
Yeah, you go knock, you can get res. Like solo, you get knocked, it's over. You gotta go again.
You gotta go again, yeah. But like dealing as an because you are an IGL, and as an IGL and just a teammate in general, how do you deal with your teammates? Like, kind of start tilting. Do you have like a strat? Do you have something you just be like, yo, take a breather? Or like what's your strat with your teammates?
I do sometimes go out and just start like going to smoke or just doing a fucking... I'm like, that's when I'm really over it.
Yeah.
But if not, like I usually just try to like, I don't yell at them like how, but like I just like try to make them explain or like show them how stupid that play was to like make them realize how mad I am or something like that. And then like sometimes they even be mad at me. I'm like, why are you mad at me? And then I explain it VOD review. I'm like, look, you should have done this and that. I'm like, you're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. But then it's the when they do it again, when I just told them exactly what to do, or if I told them like going off rip on Harvester, like contesting all 3, okay? I'm like, playing with a trial. I'm like, yo, we're going all 3 middle, okay? He's like, okay. We go land, he doesn't go middle. I'm like, bro, it's the easiest part of the job is to go there. Like that's they can't do the simplest thing. Imagine the hardest thing. Like that's what makes me freak out, bro. Roller brain is actually a thing. I'm not joking.
And talking about roller, right? What's your take, right? Even if it's a hot take, what's your take on aim assist, and what do you think is the fix to that, or is there just no fix?
I don't know about the fix, but what I feel like happens is, you know how mouse and key is like there's no aim assist, right? So
Yeah.
like people, I feel like hit 2 bullets, miss 1, hit 3, miss 2. Like it's varies all the time. But roller is like they hit their first 16 bullets because it's like locking on him, and then they miss everything because it's not locked. So you can. That's how I tell when I'm getting shot at that it's a roller or mouse and key, because if it legit feels like you're getting hacked on for a second and then they miss everything, or they miss everything and then ends their mag by one clipping you, instead of mouse and key where they start shooting at you and it's gradually like missing and hitting. So that's what I feel like is not fair. So because yes, they can miss everything, that's and then they look like a bot, but when they hit that 16 bullet lane lock, that's where you just insta die and before doing anything. So that's what I feel like it's not fair. Another thing is the controller is going to track the guy, and if that other guy pops on the screen, it's going to automatically lock onto the other guy before you can actually realize it, like before a brain can realize it. So that's another thing. And the other thing is that feel like the bullets, once you go behind a wall, still hit you, like they curve a little bit more. Like you would get hit, you're behind the wall and you still get hit like 2 or 3 bullets. Because the aim assist, I don't know if it's still locking in or something, but I realize with roller players, you get shot behind the wall a lot. So those are the 3 things.
But it probably happens way more. And
yeah,
how do you call it? And
because the 20 ticksers are not the greatest on Apex, so that doesn't help either.
Apex, and I would pretty much say every single FPS that uses aim assist has issues, because from COD to Battlefield to Apex to any other
that's my first controller game, so it's pretty annoying for me.
It's
from CS.
True. Super people didn't have any controller, right?
No roller, and that's a big thing.
That is true. I just
Siege doesn't have it either. Minecraft, every game I've played, Overwatch, no roller. I mean, maybe Overwatch, but I barely played that game.
And
Valorant also.
To like kind of end it off with the super people part, right? Because super people kind of just died off, and what do you think killed it?
It's the devs. They basically published Super People 2 before even posting their real game, and then they took out the crafter, took it back, took it out again, and then they posted at the same time as like big games came out, like I think it was Warzone or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Big Warzone games 2 came out, and then what else? Oh yeah, the duo modes. The modes were good, but they didn't put them well. Like they put solo and trios, so there was no duos, and then they put duos and squads, and then there was no solos. Like they just didn't.
I feel like no.
Now it would be, if they would put it out now and just learn from everything, it would be great. But it's too late now. They just did too many mistakes and didn't learn from them. So,
do you think games? Do you think games sometimes like deserve second chances, or do you think it should be as harsh as it is?
Oh yeah, I wish they could get by another company and remake it better. Like it was super good. Like it felt smooth. Like all the zone was well made. Everything, the classes at the end were well made. There's just there was missing players and money. That's about it.
That's true, and they dumped a lot of their money on.
Dump all their $1 million tourney on beta, bro.
On beta,
I won I still need money. Like I won over 5K, and they just paid me 4K.
Have you not gotten paid?
I can't get paid. They get bankrupt. I can't do anything about it.
That is crazy.
There's nothing I can do about it. I'm legit missing like 2K.
That is actually tough. That is really tough. I mean, at least you got paid a portion before they went bankrupt.
I got paid most of it, so.
I want to switch over to, like in comp, right? Especially team modes, team games like Apex. You always have this LFT, right? And LFT is probably everybody that wants to go through comp has gone through it. What's your like? How do you find teammates? What do you go with? Do you have like a sheet that you take stuff, or do you just go with the flow?
I usually start by like trying out the people I've known or like know their name or like I've played versus or against. But mostly I just you want to have the good vibe, because even if he's good and he doesn't or listen or vibe with you, it's not, and there's no point. So you want that first, and then you got to choose like the role. So I'm an IGL, so I'm not going to pick up another IGL.
Makes sense.
And then yeah, and then also the people mostly that are interested, because I used to go off with like only like pro players and stuff, but most of those guys just like, you do a mistake or something's not right, they're just gonna dip and find something else because they want like money fast. But they're not looking for like actually building a connection like Kyle and Reps did and stuff. Like that's the key. If you want to have a good team, you're gonna have to like work on those mistakes and go through it. Like I did when me and Helping, we used to yell at each other all the time, and now we're like best friends because we made it through that step. So yeah, once you pass that steps and you just trust your teammate really well, you're gonna play like another. It's like another you basically. Like, you know what he's gonna be thinking.
Yep.
You know where are we gonna rotate. It's always the same thing, same map.
It becomes super easy to phone.
No, now
And
you just concentrate on calming the damage, and that's it. Don't need to tell everybody when to what to do and everything. So
and
that's really nice.
you like you briefly mentioned it. Going back over gameplay, how important to you is VOD reviewing?
VOD review is really important because it legit. I mean, you don't need it, but it saves you a lot of time. Like before you realize, like sometimes you die and you're like, "What the fuck happened?" And you're like, just keep playing the scrim. But then you watch the point of view of your teammate and you're like, "Oh, that's why that guy's was fucking across the map, not doing anything. Why are you doing that?" And then you tell them, and then it's gonna let's do it like faster instead of just like playing 6 days of scrims and then realizing that that guy's been doing that the whole time. Just can't. It like makes you see your teammates' point of view, basically. And then if you have a coach, you have another brain that can like take all those three informations and like teach the three players, because he has another perspective. He's not playing. He doesn't have the emotions like of the game in him. He's thinking more rationally. So
Gosh,
that's really
how important to you is coaches? Like, do you think it's a must? You know, every team should have a coach.
I mean, yes and no, because at the end of the day, it's hard to get a coach that is actually knows better than most of these pros, because like all the good players are basically pros now. None of them, like PvP is a good coach because he played, but finding another PvP or something is going to be hard. Yes, you're going to get a good coach, but at the end of the day, you can still just get better as a team without one. So it's for sure helps, but it's not recommended. I mean, it's not recommended, but you don't need one if you're not like pro or just like a team that getting in. But if you know, actually, if you're a team that is getting in and you have actually no idea how to play the game, then of course a coach is. But for tier 2 teams, like it's less important, I would say.
Like a team, a new team, you know, 3 hugely mechanical players. You recommend a coach for those guys because they probably don't know how to play comp.
Yeah. If you don't have an IGL that doesn't know how to play comp, then yeah, you need one. But you definitely need an IGL. You can start by having everybody do their own like opinion and then working on it. But at the end of the day, if you're versing a team that has an IGL, they're just going to make decision way faster than your team, because they're just going to have one guy talking and 2 guys listening instead of everybody trying to figure out what to do. You know?
Yelling comms is a crazy thing. A lot of clips overall where people just full yell, and it seems to work. You wouldn't think it works, but it works. I would
people like aggressive, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but it works as long as it's direct. I want to move over to your scrim server that you started pretty recently, Frapp Scrims. How you know how does that how did you get there? How did you get to the point where you're like, I want to start a scrim server?
Basically, me and B-Town were like trying to play some scrims, and then we got waitlisting in 2 lobbies, and another lobby I think we were supposed to play, but we didn't get in or something. And then I DM'd him like, "Yo, why can I not play?" And he just never responded to me. I'm like, okay, fuck this. I want to play scrims. I'm making my own Discord. So that night, I picked everybody from the waiting list team of those cores, and I'm like, "Yo, you want to play a game?" So we played like 2 games, and it wasn't really great, but that's where it was a start. And then the next day, I worked on the Discord better. and then we ran, and then it ran better. We got a full lobby, and after like 3 days, because at the time we hosted, it was later. It's not 7. It was like 10 or 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. by that time. So we were getting like a lot of people. So we almost got 2 lobbies in 3 days, and that's where our competitors like Carius was running as another scrim cord that runs at 11. That's where I met Sparky. He was the admin for them, and I'm like, he was talking to me. He was like, those scrims are about to die, and I see that you're popping recently. So can I come and like do admin for you or something? I'm like, yeah. And then he showed me the leaderboard that he had for Acarius that he basically just customized for this Discord and changed it completely. So then that's where I started working with him, and then I invited people from my connections to grow the Discord, and his side he was working on more technical bot side. So he made all the bots, and he's making all the checklists and everything. And from that, I got admin codes from Joss from being, I guess, at LAN or pro player. He just gave it to me.
Yeah.
He gave me 2 codes, so I started from now. I have 2 lobby codes, and now Sparky has 2, so we can host 4 lobbies now. We have full bot. We made server shop where we can buy passes for our tournaments, because our tournament right now for the $1,000 is open.
Yeah.
But once we get that one running, we're gonna get probably like sponsors or something, and then we're gonna have the scrims for everybody.
Yeah.
Like that has right now, and then we're gonna have our league, like AGS side, like LGS league, or for Frapper league. But that's where you have to pay like, I think it's like $7 a players or $20 for a team, and then those people that pay get to win the prize pool or play in that tourney with the prize pool or something like that. So that's what we're working on. We're now like 1,000.
Absolutely sick projects. I actually can't wait to see this. And hopefully maybe I'll try and play some few Apex games. I haven't played Apex in a while, but it's such a nice game to watch. It makes you want to play it every time.
Oh yeah, and I try to get casters to make it like different from the scrims, because I know that no one has casters. So if we get like caster scrims, even though it's not the best casters, like newer players or tier 2 players still like to watch their point of view. Because I remember when I started playing comp, I would like and get stream, I'm like, oh my god, that's me playing, and that would be cool. So I remember, so like they're probably thinking the same thing, so that was a good idea to do. And we're also what does he say, oh yeah, making, DGS. It's, you know what that is?
No, what is it?
It's like overstats. You know how they have their stats and everything, but DGS are the ones that LGS uses. That site.
Yeah,
so that's what we're gonna do. He's in talk of the dev that works with that site, and we're just gonna make one for us. So now you're gonna have to check in on a website, and it's gonna have like player stats and zone replays of you dying, everything, for just the cord.
That's
you
nuts.
could legit see the kill cam on the map.
That's
once
nuts.
You die. Yeah, and it's gonna be big.
Obviously, being casted, I feel like for as much as newer players as being like a professional player, being casted is like I feel like it's a privilege. Like when you can watch back on games where you're casted, I feel like it's an insane feel. Like you said,
that's what I like felt when I was being casted the first time. So I knew instantly that when I had the idea, people would love it, because who doesn't getting commentated,
100%.
And especially they're always super nice and never shit talk, so it's perfect.
And I want to go on I feel like the other side, the dark side of running a scrim server. How do you deal with like rule breaks and a bunch of issues? Because obviously, right, it's open.
Oh, it's a lot of pressure. Yeah,
you have a lot of people and a lot of pressure to deal with. What's your strategies? Like, how do you deal with that?
But like you said, it's just people can't read. You could do everything perfectly, have it the date and everything, and they'll be like, yo, when's the scrims? Or like, why can't we do that? And then we could be like, check the rules, and it's just right there. So I feel like the best way you have to do it is just to really be strict. Like, if that's what Sparky told me, I was like not strict enough, trying to be nice so people join. But he was like, if you're just being nice, you're gonna get a lot of people, but your server is just gonna end up dying. So we started being more like strict on the rules. So we would give low priority to teams that do bad stuff, or like late drop or land on a team or do a stupid push. And once people started getting low priority and the score was still popping, they were like, yo, how do we like get rid of low prior? We're like, wait a week. You have to wait a week. So now people started playing better, and
I feel like that's the best way
that
to
helped a
do it.
lot. Yeah.
And do you have like a do you plan on having that as your main system, or do you want to go with like an appeal system, or what's
Right
what's the
now
future
we
of it?
have like the low prior wall for
Yeah,
people that either signed in and then they'll decides to like back out right before the game, like 20 minutes before the game, because
yeah.
we did our settings and everything. So that's one. If you randomly down on the team, that's another one. If you leave scrims like after 3 games or 5 games and whatever, you leave scrims early. That's another one. So we have that lasts for a week when we have all our logs on the Discord, and we just type the name of the team and say the reason why they got banned or like low prior and when it's released. And once they can either, because you can still play if you know you have low prio, you're just gonna get low prio. So if you do good when you play as low prio and actually play zone and stuff, then you get reduced like 1 or 2 days depending how good you did. So
Okay.
that's another way that you can still do it. And so yeah, so I
Uh,
feel like that works really well right now. Hobby's been good and good.
that's how nice. And to go, kind of out of subject, but I wanted to touch on this. You were
Hmm.
working, or you might be still working. I don't know if you still are on your own game, which was
Oh
MixFrapp,
yeah.
I think is what you called it. Is that
Hmm.
still in works? Do
Yeah,
you
it
still
is
have
still
future
works. I
plans?
did I did like slow down because I made it a Discord and with school and everything I couldn't work it, but I still have like the 2 guys talked to that wants to help me. So we're still working on it. It's gonna be like Hunger Games, of course,
Yeah.
a Hunger Games style game. So everybody starts in the middle, like in the old Minecraft Hunger Games.
Yep.
And there's not necessarily going to be a chest in the middle, but everybody starts in the middle, so there's no like
Drop
RNG on
spots.
drops or everything. Yeah, everybody just starts running around. I might make like a 30 seconds where you can't fight at the start, and
Yeah.
then people would just. Uh, I have like 36 players or something, 32 teams of 12 or something, and then I made different. It's like a circle, and every part of the circle is different, like biomes. I'd say so. You have like the tree, the city, and stuff like that. And then the ending, I was thinking of making it at the center, and the map crawls like slowly.
Yeah.
But I feel like people are just gonna go end zone slowly in camp.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make like 20 to 30 different zone pools manually. So I know that are good, but I'm gonna have them randomized. So people don't know which one of those 20, 30 zones is. Same with the loot. But loot is
Okay.
gonna be like 4 to 5 different versions of loot, but it's all gonna be manually put. So it's always gonna be good loot at every place. It's not gonna be like you open a fucking bin and it's 3 syringes. And then I'm gonna alternate those 5 loot paths like every game, so
That,
no one
that's
knows which one it is.
that's actually really interesting. You're basically
Hmm.
reducing part of the RNG
Yeah, I'm
aspect.
using my BR experience from gaming and my what I learned to school them just do both. That's what I feel like dev are missing. There's no dev that are actually pro players, so that's a huge advantage for me. I feel like.
I feel like that is not only what devs are missing, but I feel like that's what devs are overlooking
Yeah.
is connecting with the people that actually spend their life playing these games
Hmm.
and stuff, and they play so much and have so much experience. um X Defiant recently is one of the games that kind of
Been
uh
doing that.
been doing that, and for the
Nice.
most part they've been getting pretty good reviews because of that. But I think that's
Yeah,
definitely
it's
what devs
it's
are
easy.
missing.
I don't know why no one's doing it, man.
It's so
Like I
odd.
get paid like $20 a fucking hour. I would do their super smart ideas. I don't care, man. They don't need engineers or level designers or whatever. They just need a imaginary. That's what I say sometimes. Is these devs don't have imagination. Like they need a 12-year-old to start giving them ideas because they don't have any imaginations. Holy.
Oh, like I honestly can't wait until that project finishes. Even though I'm pretty sure that's still a long way to
Oh,
go.
it's gonna be long. Yeah,
It's
at
still a
least
long
four
way to go,
years. Yeah. Yeah.
but I'll definitely be hyped to play that, because
Oh yeah, it's
playing
gonna be
games that
perfect.
are made by people that actually play the game probably feels 10 times better than any other game.
And I'm gonna listen more to like what people want also. Like I might have like all of you guys test it and then giving reviews, so I know it's gonna be like good, and it's not gonna be just like, yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna have good
No, that's
player
sick.
reviews.
That's sick. Getting hyped for that.
Yep.
This is another kind of oddball, but you also do digital work. You do like digital artwork. Is that just like a hobby, or do you like use it for? Do you have like clients that you go for, or do you just do it on your free
I
time?
mean, like at school, I learned a bit of everything, so I'm like, why not use what I know to make stuff? Because I want to have like a job that I can do that I enjoy. Then it's not only like a whatever 5 to 7. So I know sitting at my computer doing stuff that I learn is more fun. So I started trying to make money off those. So I did a bunch of emotes for people I knew, like Angel of streamers, and then they really liked them. So I started like looking more ideas and started making time. I know I was taking a lot of time to make them, but at least I was getting money. Like I would sell them actually, like example, for $50, but instead of taking 2 hours like a normal person, I would take like almost half a day. But it was good, but at least I had something. Like it's not just gaming and I'm not getting anything at the end of the day. So
I mean,
it was
it's
just like a hobby
quality.
for the side. Yeah.
It's,
And it was
it's
fun to
definitely.
do too. So, and it was for people I like. So it's
No,
not that
I
bad.
feel
I
like
started
that.
a Fiverr, but I don't think that's gonna pop.
I feel like popping on Fiverr is kind of hard, man. I
Oh
don't know. I don't
yeah, it
know.
is hard. Like
I don't
what
know
the
how they
hell?
do it. I don't know how
I
people do
know.
it. I
It's
don't. I
crazy.
have
There's
no
so
clue how
many.
people do it, but they. When you thing is when you get popping on Fiverr, you're popping forever, bro. People are just
Yeah, for
DMing you
real.
all
Yeah.
the time.
Once you get up that list, you're always there.
And the last thing I kind of wanted to touch on, um, you have experience with some third person games, some first person game. I feel like I've asked this every single podcast, but I want to ask it again.
Hmm.
What do you prefer, first persons or third persons, and why?
I really enjoy first person more than third person. Like in Super People, I was playing first person, even though it was third person. But I feel like it can still be done. Like Bloodhound, third person.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
third
it's
person was
crazy.
actually pretty good. Like, yes, you could abuse the third person, but you didn't like. It's not like Super People where you insta died. You still had time to react and use your abilities. So if you make a game that has like a lot of movement and a lot of HP, I feel like third person is doable. But if you're doing like a 5v5 Valorant style game, those more like first person. It is doable, but I definitely prefer first person. But Bloodhound was definitely fun. So maybe
Bloodhound,
if there's a game that gets popping third person, I'll play it. But
Bloodhound
sometimes,
was Bloodhound was I feel like a one of a kind, and I feel like Bloodhound was
yeah,
one of those other games that died off to devs
died
just
pretty
not
quick. Yeah.
wanting devs just not wanting to cooperate with the community, and again
Hmm.
I hope it's something that changes because even Apex I feel like has that where Apex used to in the beginning have like a really good
Hmm.
community and dev relationship, and now it's kind of just I feel like everybody hates devs.
I feel like they used that information from when they did that and then used it for the whole rest of the year. Because I know one of my old teammate helping told them to do something in season 3 or something, and they did it like season 17. And he's like, yo, that's exactly what I told them to do. And they did it like that late. So I feel like they're still working on the info we gave them early for today. That's why they're not talking, but they should just like work it faster. And I feel like Nicewig was talking to them too about ideas, but I don't know if they're doing it still. They should.
I I I have to say that these devs I feel like blame a lot of things on time, and you partly
Hmm.
being obviously a dev. Uh, do you think that's a viable thing to
It
say?
is definitely a viable question because it could legit take you a day, and you all at the end of the day you just manage to fix one thing, and sometimes you fix one thing, and then 5 other problems pops up. That's a big thing. But they do have a big team, so I feel like they should do it, but it's still a big game. So I get there's definitely it's hard, but they're overreacting a little bit for sure. Like Yeah, for sure.
They use it to their advantage. I feel like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good way to delay some things to, you know, fix the thing on the next
They
season.
definitely
So
got
people
their
keep
full
playing.
vacation and everything, and if they don't work, they definitely won't get on the work. Like, that's for sure.
Do you think in that sense that you know, things like, for example, EA might be like kind of ruining some of these companies, or some of these game dev companies, or is it just
Yeah, exactly.
game
Because their
dev?
mentality is not, oh, wake up today and let's see what we can do to help Apex. No, it's wake up today. What can we do to get money? That's legit. They're going to their mind. That's why they buff a Revenant and then comes out with their heirloom. Like they're not trying to hide it at all.
They want money. EA is a money hungry
Yep.
corporate, and
We've been known that.
everybody knows, but nobody can do it. That's why people still
Yep.
play FIFA, and every year they
Yep.
buy the new game.
Exactly.
Honestly, that pretty much concludes the subjects I wanted to go over. I really want to thank you for being on the podcast.
Oh, you're welcome. It was fun as fuck.
And I want to shout out all your socials. So, you know, you have Twitter, YouTube. Is it Frapper everywhere?
Yeah, you type Frapper and you'll find everything.
So Frapper on everything.
Chilling.
Go follow this man. Subscribe. Whatever the hell they call it on other social media platforms.
Like, subscribe,
like, subscribe, follow, comment down below. There you go. That right there. That right there is the universal line. Is the universal
YouTube
line
right there.
until Elon decides to fuck it up and call follow something else.